They call it music. 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 They call it music.
Welcome to the thing called Double Rock, baby. We here to rock your head wide open today to bring you pure, raw, uncut, unadulterated Junkanoo news. Well, you see in the host today, Beef Judgment Pumping King. We get all kind of beautiful ladies and hosts, gents, but don't get it. Don't get mad. You know I gotta pick up the ladies.
Respect them.
You know what I mean? You get the pulse pies in here, my boy. They tell me they all kind of pies. So whatever you like, they get the pie to bless you. Anyway, we co-host today.
Paparazzi.
The paparazzi. We get Genesis in the house today, my boy. But before we roll the show over, you see this bad boy buck we get, y'all? She platinum, she fuzzy, king. She need lawn more where she so fluff, king. But they got to sign this today, but it's not platinum. And all our guests got to sign in to this platinum JNN buck bait. So, let me let the chairman, newly elected chairman, by Genesis Warhawks, then he can pass it along. You know what I mean? It's organized, you gotta make sure write that. Don't write that like no doctor, but you know them doctor can't write. There's some things looking sideways, we won't understand. So sign up. Today's date. Let them know y'all is live, you on Double Rockin', rocking up yourself. You don't know hawk up yourself. Rocking up yourself today. You live in the place. But y'all stay tuned, mommy, in the place. Anyway, while I say sign, let me tell you what you need to do. You need to go on all the social media platforms and follow JNN, Junkanoo News Network. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. My producer say he ain't sure we on X yet. Not that X y'all talking about, but the Twitter X. You know what I mean? He ain't sure we on X yet, but y'all stay tuned. But follow us, like us. You know what I mean? We like the engagement. You know what I mean? We want the viewership to just go worldwide. So click like, click share, and just tune in, man. Every week we get something for you. But all the long newscasts usually broadcast on YouTube or Facebook. All the nice little reels and short videos usually drop on Instagram, TikTok, or in the Facebook reels. So y'all stay tuned and like the content, man, we in here. You know what I can say? We just give the raw content, but no filters in here. We can give you what you want, not what the people want to say. You know what I mean, boss?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So, don't get scared. Don't get scared to share your story neither. Because we ask you for something, we want you to be raw, real, and to the point. Boom! That's how we roll it. The Genesis in the place today. We gonna have an exciting show today. But boy, they tell me I gotta hawk up myself. I tell them I want to rock up myself voice. Anyway, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for signing this bad boy guest book. We can get right in. We can jump right in. Boss, like you say, boss, we get these guests here today, but introduce them yet. But they can introduce themselves because I ain't messing up nobody position and nobody name. So starting with the Stain your man, the chairman. Represent yourself. Let the people know. Give the people your name, your position, how long you been doing Junkanoo. A little quick history, nothing too long. A little quick bio.
Okay, Theo Cooper here, the newly elected chairman of the Genesis Junkanoo organization. Been rushing for 22 years. Started with one love, shifted the roots, and became about a team that would have brought Genesis to life. Been here ever since.
Oh my, that's platinum.
Tanya Sampson, newly elected secretary of the Genesis Warhawks. I've been participating in Junkanoo for the past 13 years. Started with one family, moved over to Genesis from inception. Here we are on our 10th anniversary.
All right.
Hi, I'm Yashika Carey, aka Shiki, newly elected assistant director for the Pulse Pies.
Pie
Been
up
working
yourself.
for 10 years with GJO. Talk up yourself.
That's all you know.
That's all I know.
That's it. Why we platinum in the place? Gosh, hawk up yourself. Papa, what we get on top today, because boy, the show look like this could be nice.
Yeah, well, basically want to find out from our guest today exactly, we all know how long they've been involved with Genesis. We basically want to find out, basically have elections recently. You have the chairman. How did that go exactly? You have a lot of persons who were vying for different posts, or was it just a situation where you were unopposed and just went straight in?
Well, just to let everyone know, Genesis has elections every 3 years.
Every 3 years.
Okay.
Unlike a lot of groups, there's not a lot of persons that fight for power. Most of our elected chairmen have been they've been chosen prior to the time. And so with our elections, there was no big fight. The previous chairman, he would have declined his nomination, and I would have been made chairman by default. And it's just more so of a rite of passage. And I would have been working with the previous chairman in the past few years, a sort of training and succession planning. And that's how Genesis sort of operates. We believe in full succession planning and sort of passing the baton. Anyone that would have been privy to the opening ceremony at the Shady Street Theater, there was a video presentation that spoke to passing on the baton. And that's what we are. We are agents of change, and we believe on grooming the leaders of tomorrow.
Okay. Boy. Hey. Boy, that's nice. I basically almost like that concept. You ain't gotta fight, because it's like I didn't do my time. Let somebody else have a time, and you know what I mean. But I'll work with them in case they need that guidance, and as not even just as a Junkanoo community, as a country, we need to follow that model. You know what I mean? We need to follow that model, man.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, things be less stressful, less people get freaking themselves out around the place because they fighting against one another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could have just.
Go ahead.
Yeah, when we could just do what he just said.
Yeah, so the interesting question I have for the chairman, although we're supposed to be actually talking about the pies.
Yeah, now we can get to the pies now.
Yeah,
man.
we get-
Don't worry
we
about
get-
that.
we get- Get to the pies.
Yeah, man, but you gotta let the boss talk.
So, Theo, do you have a deputy chairman who's gonna be in, I guess, should I say,
Shadow.
work
you
along with
shadow
you in
you.
order
So-
to take the position in the next 3 years, or how would that work?
Not
exactly?
necessarily. So
Okay.
my current deputy chairman is Dr. Dwight Marshall.
Oh, he been.
He's
okay.
also a founder of the organization.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's essentially, I'm looking for persons right now. I'm not trying to be here forever. You understand? You know, I have the privilege of working with the two previous chairmen, and I tell people we move like the Avengers. Left hand and right hand. That's how we run this organization. And all of us are collectively looking for the persons that are going to take this group further when we come off the scene.
I've noticed a lot of movement in Genesis. And I'm not the only one, because people saying, all we see is Warhawks. Well,
Like they say, walks internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of movement, a lot of things happening within your organization. Tell us some of the things that are happening. I noticed a lot of movement in terms of persons moving from one group to the next, but I'm not really want to get into that right now. I want to know, what are you doing to attract all these people to your group? Because it seems like everybody just keep coming to Genesis, and Genesis is the buzzword for the last 2-3 weeks now.
Yeah. Well, the reality is, and I tell people, we came fifth. Now, we may not have deserved fifth, but that's what we got. And for us, we knew what our weaknesses are. If anyone's honest with themselves and watched Genesis over the past few years, we've been improving. We've been striving to improve on the different elements that we bring to Bring Street every year. And so we knew one of the weaknesses of our organization was the music. So we jumped on recruiting and figuring out what we need to do to get our music right so the rest of the group could actually get what they fairly deserve, on top of continuing to improve on costuming. So we just doing what we got to do to improve our positioning on Bay Street. But like I said in the previous show today, we are champions regardless. Whether they give me first or they give me fifth, we go there, we do what we got to do. We do our efforts in the community, and that makes us winners.
And you guys have been doing an excellent job in the community.
Yeah.
Souths and all the different functions.
Different community
Excellent,
events.
excellent work. We have the Pulse Pies here. We want to.
But you can't just say we have the pulse pies. Once we get the pies here, the pies represent, you gotta talk loud and clear, boy. You can't. They say, boss, listen to me. Understand this, boss. When you get women in Junkanoo and they doing good things and big things in Junkanoo, you gotta celebrate them, boss. You know, remember Junkanoo used to be a dominant male judgment thing, you know.
I remember.
And now the scales are balancing, but and the way I even say balancing, ladies, them look like they trying to tilt the scales a little bit. I want you to sleep.
I remember the dark days of Junkanoo then.
You know what I mean?
I remember the dark days when you had females only in the choreograph section, but that's the beautiful thing about it. We have more and more females taking,
you know,
bigger roles in Junkanoo, and we have the secretary of Genesis. I'm not. Yeah, it's Genesis.
Yes.
I'm getting mixed up now. Genesis. Ms. Sampson.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your responsibility as the secretary of said organization? I mean, now you all know the secretary runs the organization. No. That's the person who runs the organization. You need to figure ahead.
Well, the organizational skills of a group, any group, not just Junkanoo, can make or break the organization. You could have the best costumes, you could have the best music, you could have the most exciting members, but if you cannot organize to get your group to be on time, that's what that is. That's a 100-point penalty now when you're late.
But that could cost you a parade.
That more than cost you a parade. That is the parade.
So throughout the year, the secretary does all of the, it's a lot of ordering, it's a lot of reaching out to persons, getting sponsors, just keeping the group and the paperwork of the group organized. You see what happens when a group doesn't have their paperwork.
Oh yeah. We spoke together about that in the last episode.
So the secretary just does their best to make sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed.
Okay. So let's pivot just a little bit from the responsibility of the secretary to the Pulse pies. You say multi-flavored pies?
Multi-flavored
Multi-flavored pies.
Every flavor you can imagine.
So tell us about your Pulse pies, because I noticed that you have a lot of ladies from, let's say, range from the age of, let's say, 16, 17, go up to... Don't mention you don't call the numbers.
Everybody young
And beautiful.
and feel as everybody look and feel like an 18-year-old. So don't try put no age on nobody.
No.
We ain't get roll out of Genesis when we roll like,
No, we get.
Next thing you know, they tell us, say, boss, we been live interview and we talk with the old ladies. Hey, no, my boy. I ain't into that, boss. Now they say they Pulse pies.
Pies.
Yes.
That's it.
So give us a little rundown about the Pulse pies. How many ladies you have in the organization? When you practice, how do you even join? How does someone say they were interested in joining the organization? I mean, not the organization, the pies specifically.
Well, definitely, I'd say. I mean, just tapping on to the wide range of females that we have. We definitely have the Debbie Biddy pies, and then we have the grown-up pies.
I like
And
that.
to-
I like that. I like that. Little bitty pies.
Now we don't want them too
too
bitty,
bitty,
because then
yeah.
that's a lot of mothering.
Yeah.
You know. But if you want to join the Pulse Pies, our social media pages are very, very active. For the most part, people reach out that way. People reach out to persons that they know. Our website.
Okay.
And we are definitely a section who believe in mentoring and fostering, building like family relationships. So we kind of sister, I prefer to say sister than mother.
Yeah.
Some of the younger. And as Theo spoke to earlier, the mandate of GJO, that same succession plan follows even throughout the sections. Like we are, Tonya, who's now the secretary, was the outgoing leader, the
Pulse.
director of Pulse.
Pulse.
And we would have all come under the original director. So we were all a part of that team initially. And we all still today have subcommittees of persons who we are also training. So our current director, she has a choreo team. They create routines. There's a costuming team. There's an admin team. Pulse. Pulse is on the move. The gals on the move.
They firing on all cylinders.
Definitely.
Listen to me. I saw a video this morning and I was like, wow, these photographs are nice. The video is nice. The person in the video is nice. You guys are just seem to be reaching out the whole stratosphere when it comes to your public relations. Just give me a little touch on what's going on in that regard. I mean, like he said, y'all all over this Warhawk money.
This Warhawk internet, man.
This our internet.
And they
So-
said they celebrate, but it's 10
10
years.
years.
But 10 years, they can't be pumped. You only can be 10 once, you know.
That's right.
You only can be 10 once, but you only can be 10 twice. You can only be 10 once. And you got to represent for that 10.
Yeah, so just give us a little insight into your public relations and your outreach in that regard.
So, where to begin with that thing? As Chairman Cooper said earlier, we recognize that where our failings, where our faults were, and we knew that in order to garner the kind of energy, the kind of brand that we wanted to present, that we needed to step outside of the box and do things a little bit differently. So branding Pulse as this strong force, the pulse of GJO, was very, very important for us. And as a management team of Pulse, we said, listen, we know we may not have the fans like X, Y, or Z. I ain't calling other people's names,
No.
right? And so we say, you know what? We can make sure whenever Pulse step out, we look good. Madam T over here ain't gonna ever let Pulse step out without taking a picture. Pictures are a must. And so we realized that we needed to, again, the leadership of Pulse, we needed to invest in proper branding, making sure that we looked right every single time we touched the road, making sure that we capture the moments properly, making sure that we capture the moments which is social media worthy. Because that's where we at.
Yeah.
That's where the world is at. So we didn't want nothing blurry, nothing fuzzy, nothing. If you notice, everything we
in
put out
5K,
sharp
not even
and
4K,
clean.
everything in 5K.
The pies sharp and clean. The 4K sharp and clean. Hawk up yourself.
Oh, man. Run the current.
Just to piggyback off of coming from being the new queens on the block.
The kids, new kids on the block.
We could not always depend on.
The funds to stimulate you.
You could not depend on, not to hit paparazzi. You could not depend on the media that is out to the parades to capture us. When we look good.
But they
when
want.
you go on Facebook,
We don't see us.
They want to see the big. They taking pictures of the
They
big
take a lunch-
brands.
they take a
They call
lunch
the
break.
big brands. The big brands.
They take a lunch break.
Or
then-
whoosh past Pulse.
Oh yeah, man.
You notice she pointing when she said they take a lunch break.
Lunch break. I sure Papa ain't take no lunch break,
I'm
man.
not going to call anything. No.
I know he get plenty
Papa,
pictures.
Papa's doing good. Yeah,
I
he,
actually have a catalog of my entire Junkanoo.
yeah,
From
Papa.
Papa. See that? Boy,
So,
dangerous.
But with the pies, recognize if we cannot depend on outside,
We got to
have
do it
provide
inside.
on the inside.
Boy, it makes
So
sense.
We ensure that our budget always includes videographers, photographers at all times.
It only makes sense, but you gotta capture, like you say, you gotta capture the moment and the memories. You know what I mean? Cause,
Just think about all of the hours that you've invested.
but listen to me.
To just be a memory.
The only thing you have when the parade
Yeah.
is done is photos and the videos.
Videos, yeah. Like, cause, like I tell people, like, photos and videos, it tells a story that sometimes you can't tell. Cause sometimes you be so immersed in the what's going on Page Street, you don't really know. Even photographers don't know what they take until they reach home and they start to go through that reel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the same thing. And you be like, wow. You basically in the moment, but you ain't in the moment if you understand what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So, like, that's why it's need them photos, that's why it's need them videos. Many people don't understand why they were so important. So it's when you go home and you realize, well, ain't no picture, ain't no video with you.
Yeah.
But just like you ain't rush.
It's a problem.
You ain't rush, boy. Cause you can't tell nobody by we ain't see you. Huh? And you can imagine somebody tell you that been in the shop for 5 months, 10 months, and somebody say, boy, we ain't even see you,
And you have the
boy.
Junkanoo battle scars to prove it too.
You know what I
And no
mean?
one see you.
I'm just saying. So you all rose up in there, you no picture, no video. To say I been in the Bay Street. Wait, that's a sad situation. But I be real, right? I love the setup of Genesis. Genesis setup right now is the way most Junkanoo organizations need to start to go. You know? Plus, in a lot of organizations, we a lot of tussling and hassling, and when time for election, well, we know all the debacle again on the next side right now because of all that. If you would have, like he say, he operates with the two past chairmans. You know what I mean? Some people can't operate with the last one.
Some people can't operate with themselves.
You know what I mean? Because it's a problem. You know what I mean? But the only way your group could grow, if the people who was there before putting that knowledge into you there now, they helping you stay at the course. So man, like, I love Genesis. Like, hawk up yourself. Like, hawk up yourself. You know? I can hawk up myself today.
The thing
Like,
about it for Genesis is me is they've always been like community based. You know, some people say they call themselves community based, and this weird thing in Junkanoo recently where the newer groups have created themselves as community based.
Yeah.
And it's like they almost pushing that on the rest of Junkanoo. I mean, my group isn't geared towards the community, and I was a hardcore Junkanoo group. I should be penalized for that.
Yeah.
But we want to commend you guys for following that mantra, and we've also seen the outreach work you've done in the community.
Yeah.
Give us some examples of what you've done, because your shack is basically based in between Shirley Street, Camp Road, and I can't remember the next area. And Thompson Lane, right. So just give us a little brief outline of some of the outreach, because I know by Thompson Lane you guys have like the thing on the corner. You've seen that several times.
We came on the gate with much community service efforts, working with the Children's Emergency Law staff. We did a lot of rushes for free for different organizations to help these.
That's the only thing that come out of their mouth is free.
Right, because they don't pay. So I mean, it wasn't nothing for us to do it. Great for exposure. See, groups take for granted these opportunities to present themselves to the public.
Yeah.
It got to be more than just competing on Bay Street. In the Camp Road community, we've had a reading program that we've run for several years, getting close to the kids. We fed the community, and this year we're looking to do even more. Trying to cement ourselves down and have stuff on cue walkathon, which is coming up soon. It's going to be based in our
You have a date for the walkathon, is it?
June 21st.
June 21st.
June 21st,
Okay.
yes.
I'm sure we're gonna hear more about that and promote that.
We're going after. We're going to be celebrating mental health awareness as well, because we
That's good, man.
recognize the need to have the conversation started,
Especially in Junkanoo.
especially.
Yeah.
in Junkanoo.
Especially in Junkanoo. Because it seems like that's like taboo.
Yeah.
But we know it's a real issue. Just
Yeah.
look at what's going on in the country. Look at
Yeah.
the amount of suicides we have now.
Yeah.
We got to do something. And Junkanoo is one of those tools that we can use to empower our people. You know, for me, Junkanoo for me was a outlet to express myself. And I think a lot of people are hurting such as Junkanoo can help them get over the things that they're dealing with. Depression is a real thing
Yeah.
in almost every family.
Yeah.
So let's have the conversation as Junkanoo. Let's encourage other Junkanoos. Because this ain't just a Genesis thing.
Yeah.
We need every group to take the initiative to use this culture to help us heal this thing.
So right, I don't think a lot of Junkanooers or whatever you want to call yourself, Junkanooers, whatever, realize how much influence and how much power this thing we all love have. One thing I've noticed recently is that they're bringing in the curriculum in the schools. How do you, I mean, has anybody reached out to you about that, or how do you feel
Well,
about
the biggest thing that the Junkanoo community is asking is who they're consulting with.
Yeah.
Right.
How did you create a curriculum without contacting the Junkanoo in different communities? Let's get with the Junkanoo groups in these different communities and see how we can craft the schools with it.
See how they can help.
Exactly. You know?
Just about every group was in some area of a school.
Exactly.
it has to be.
You
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some schools are you get many schools in some areas. As
Some places
simple
are
as
actually right next door.
my
Yeah.
point exactly. You get sharks right next door. You know what I mean? And how you hey, serious point. You know what I mean?
And
That's
it could be
serious
a matter
point.
of a question. I mean, if let's just say Genesis is in the Kemper, at
Uriah Markfield.
Uriah Markfield,
Yeah.
Donald Davis ain't too far. You get several schools, right? It wouldn't take
QC,
anything.
QC.
You get the
QC,
private
you get
sources.
Temple
You
Christian.
get the
Yeah.
private sources. as
Yeah,
well.
everybody in there,
But-
man.
There's no reason why, you see, no one reached out to the community to find out how can we help. It could be going into a school on a Saturday morning, just to teach a course on how to place a course. It ain't hard. I know we are prepared to give back. I'm sure other groups that are using these schools as feeder systems are prepared to give back as well. Alumni has made that something that we're aware of as well.
And by you saying that, it's people don't understand the discipline Junkanoo brings. You see, and that's a major subject needs to be in place in the schools. Discipline,
Yeah.
and Junkanoo creates discipline. You know what it is to sit down for hours and no move and pace. You have to be disciplined to do that. You have to be disciplined to do that. You sit down for 7. Some people sit down for 12 hours and pace. Only discipline can cause you do that. If you ain't disciplined, you ain't gonna sit there for that long. Discipline, consistent.
I remember I had an agreement with my parents. You let me rush, I could get 3.0. Because they wasn't for it.
Yeah.
They started, my bigger cousins, everybody's talking about the tribalism. This and that. There was a stigma attached of violence
Yeah.
associated with
Yes.
that for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I had the broken agreement. I said, Mom and Dad, listen, I can maintain this 3.0 as long as you let me rush.
Yeah.
I graduated in the top 10. Because I was motivated through Junkanoo
No.
to get my grades where they needed to be.
See that?
I go from the back of the class to the front of the class. That's how bad I wanted to be in
Good
Junkanoo.
Junkanoo.
So I know if it could help me, it could help somebody else.
And that's how you gotta use. That's how you gotta use Junkanoo. You know?
We have Pulse Pies in the school age range,
Uh-huh.
and their parents have said the same thing.
Yep.
We will allow you to participate,
Only if you keep up your
but
grades.
if those grades start slipping,
Pull
you gotta
back.
come out.
It's only fair.
and
Yeah.
the girls want to rush, the girls want to dance, they want to be involved. So the leadership, we even have to take a minute and say, hey,
You
You gotta
Studying.
study in the day. Don't come to practice. You gotta
As much
study.
as I want them to come to practice,
Yeah.
You need to get the schoolwork
get
together.
those grades right.
So we could have you for the parade.
So, speaking of the school age pies, did you actively recruit them, or did they just automatically found your organization and join that way, or was it the traditional way, or a family member, or a friend of, or that type of situation?
It's a little bit of everything. So we had little cousins, little nieces of group members. Then we had persons who saw that it was a sisterhood. And like we said, it was a very organized section. So parents felt comfortable with bringing school age girls because they saw that, you know, the section was run very professionally.
Yeah. You know, plenty people
Yeah.
ain't trying to leave. They good. Shouldn't been
Yeah.
nowhere.
We
Man, a
running-
little sketchy.
We ain't running no dolly house.
Yeah.
The shock, the stigma that Chairman Cooper talked about,
Yeah.
the shock still has that stigma.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we are not a choreographed section where anything is handed to us.
Yeah.
We are a very hands-on choreographed section. So you was putting hours into the shock.
Yeah.
So the schoolgirls were there sometimes,
Ben and wire do.
bending wire, bending rods,
Everything.
everything. So we've had parents who've reached out to us. We've had school age family members of the existing members. And just by word of mouth, this girl bring their friend, they like to dance. It's just grown.
And they just catch.
And you'll have their parents come to the first practice and
Just to see
To
how
see?
how
and
it's set up.
then you see them stop coming.
Come on.
So
Because
you
they
know
be like, I satisfied with what's going on here.
Okay,
Good hands, okay.
they straight.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good look. When wait, listen to me. When a parent leave a kid
Daughter?
somewhere, especially a daughter, they very comfortable with the environment
Yeah.
and the people that's in that environment. But boss, if I think that little sketchy, I ain't getting nowhere.
Okay.
Well,
You know what I mean? I ain't getting nowhere.
I'd add, before I was the chairman, I was the baker. I was the baker of the pies.
Yeah. You used to make sure the pies get right.
Yeah, for several years I was in charge. Costing good.
Yeah.
And we've done our best as an organization to protect these women as possible. Our shots on batch was brilliant.
Yeah. Boy, listen to me, father.
yeah.
Listen to me.
Bathroom.
Listen to
So
me.
so that was a big thing for the amount of women in the group as well as the kids.
Yeah.
And so we do our best to create an environment that is safe for
Yeah.
women, children, men, period. So I think that sort of helps with allowing parents to feel comfortable with bringing their kids. We invite the parents as well. I'm seeing parents down there in the shocks battling with their kids.
Yeah.
On the
That's
road.
the environment that we
Yeah.
foster.
Family environment.
It's a family environment.
One thing I would say, when Genesis first came off the ground, one thing I noticed and I absolutely loved was the fact that you guys started with online presence. You could actually register, or you could actually join the organization through the internet or through technology in 2020 in the 20th century, as opposed to the old-fashioned way or Denny man.
Show up to practice.
Yeah,
I want
let's
rush.
bring it drum. Let's bring it drum. Let's bring it bells. Let's bring it bells so you can wake it
Yeah.
up. Put you in the back and you wake it
Yeah.
up from there. It's several things that Genesis has done specifically that has almost like elevated the whole Junkanoo community, because we have to, you know how it is. We got to keep up with you guys, because you guys, being this innovative now. You talking about what was it? The Junkanoo shop?
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, we gotta talk to you about that Junkanoo shop.
Yeah.
But it's just the innovative, forward thinking. I mean, come on now. We got to start thinking of Junkanoo as a professional sports team. You work so hard on building this brand. Beautiful logo, I must add. And then you nurture the brand, you nurture the product, and then you just let it go. I mean, you have possibility of making, at least being self-sufficient of just
Yeah.
merchandise.
That's
Yeah.
merchandise.
Just merchandise alone.
The brand and like.
Because I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but I can see myself in some Warhawks boxes.
Yeah.
Warhawk socks.
And if you was a fan, just like any sport team,
Yeah.
you was a
You're supposed to
fan,
find
but you didn't
everything.
spend anything for what your team got. But your team get socks, your team get hot, your team get shades. Whatever your team get, you won't buy. And Junkanoo's got to think the same way. But that's my team. I wonder if they get any tennis there, but you Hawks tennis, I can see me rocking a pair of them to Junkanoo. You know what I mean? It's a brand. Branding is everything.
And it's also a
Absolutely.
business.
And it's a business, and it starts. And they say you can self-sustain yourself. You ain't got to be worried by sponsors can come, and a couple dollars the government can give you. Plus, what else don't buy? Don't even finish buying material. But we ain't get into that right now. But look here.
Jumping on what Papa said, there was a TikTok that went viral during the Christmas time where a content creator said jokingly, "Hey, how do you join Junkanoo?
Yeah.
Like, do I just
Sure.
show up the practice?"
Yeah. I remember that.
Persons in the comment section saying the same thing. It's who you know, or just show up to practice. And I cannot tell you how proud I was to copy and paste the link to our registration site
Yeah.
and drop it in the comment section. It's 2025.
Right. Yep.
You sign up online.
And you know what's the crazy thing? I don't think there's any other group that's
That
doing
can
it
do
since
that.
then.
Oh.
That was 10 years ago.
That's crazy.
10 years ago.
Hey, listen to me.
I still gotta, hey, come by the park and then
Okay.
we gotta talk to nobody. Let's go in the back and then, you know.
Wait, listen. Go ahead, Chairman.
But oddly enough, the change is evident. You see other groups taking a page out of our book and doing it now. If you look at social media in this past year, look at how many groups are now recruiting.
Yeah.
I'm not calling any names.
Yeah,
But
that's
every group
automatic.
now has recruitment
Flyers.
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 Now, we know we leaders are off the flyer now.
Best off the flyer.
Yours win the flyer award every year. So we know how, we know why.
Best off the
Don't get
registration.
beers and flyers, but look at how many groups are now doing not online registrations, but call to action. Come and join our group. I'll be talking with some of the legacy
Yeah.
Yeah.
now doing the same thing. So obviously people are watching and seeing the need to recruit.
Yeah. And there's also the not only the need to recruit, but to give back and say thank you, happy birthday. Simple as that is
Yes.
like to say, tell
Yes.
Show me you
Miss
appreciate
Carrie
me,
or happy birthday. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement,
You
show
appreciate me,
appreciation.
Yes.
You ain't paying me, so at least tell me hi, man.
Yeah.
Be hi, man. Just at least, man, tell me hi, man. Yeah, man.
Smile on, man.
Even if you want to send one Genesis pencil, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate this, man. You know, and simple as those things is, but it's a big deal. It's a big deal. You know what I mean? But wait, see what I tell you all the time is run dead fast, you know. You see what I saying? But pies, I gotta let the pies talk now, Papa. Don't get mixed up, boss. Pies, pulse pies. Before we end the session, man, I need you to break this down for the people now, man. Tell them what it means to hawk up yourself in the pie section. Gotta tell them this, man.
What does it mean to hawk up yourself in the pie section? Oh boy. The first thing you gotta do is feel
Feel the pulse.
the pulse.
That's right. On my chest tonight.
The first thing.
Chest tonight.
You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it. Despite whatever they say, Junkanoo is about feeling.
Oh yeah.
It is about feeling. It is about connecting.
The movement.
In the pulse pie section, we feel we connect with each other. It's a sisterhood that is unexplainable. You just have to be there.
See right now, we just thought Genesis Pulse Pie get with 200 people. Oh, they should be in trouble. They should be in trouble. Samson, anything else before the pies leave? I know you still a pie, even though you get a big position. You still a pie.
Always a pie.
You know?
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The choreograph section is the best section in any and all Junkanoo.
Oh,
I
man.
can close one eye when I say it.
These stones coming.
They're coming to see the girls.
Why?
Yes.
So the Pulse Pies have just taken that concept and we just ran with it. So we've ran our section the way that we wanted Junkanoo to be. The stigmas that were placed on Junkanoo, we didn't want that placed on us. So if you're looking for a home, a sisterhood, check us out on social media.
I have a quick question for the pies. You know, this 2025 and the world has changed. And I've noticed that we have some. What's the pies? Y'all got some males who are now participating in the choreograph section. Do you have any males in your choreograph section? And are they welcome or included or inclusive to come and join the females at the pies?
But you can't call them pies, father. You know that now, father. Boss, you hear the name say Pulse Pies, but you can't, but...
I try to find another word for
But
pie.
I can't even entertain that right now. Because they section in the Pulse Pies. You can't put nothing else in there but pies.
No, we currently don't have any males.
That's why they named the pies. That's why they named the pies.
It's the males who have a passion for dance. We
send them to the free dance area, or the dance area, or off the shoulder, or something. But they can't join the pies. They can't join the pies, man. They gotta be real with this right now. Gotta be real with this right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. I say every that. I say every that right now. I ain't even beat on it, but I say every that. Because I want them to rock at you. They can throw rock at me, but I want them to rock at you. So I just let them know this is pies, it's for the pies. And all the other fellas, they you know you like to dance, grab on free dance, or naked dance, and go in the front there. But the pie section for the pies, we can stay right there. Right there. You know what I mean? Right there. We didn't want this get mixed up, boss. We want the pies, stay the pies.
Oh my
We
goodness.
didn't want to mix up right there.
Thank God this is not a live recording.
Oh no, but that playing. That playing, but ladies
Oh my
and gentlemen, it has been an exciting show. I wish we had more time, you know what I mean? 'Cause boy, I would go on and on. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Ladies, I appreciate, ladies and gents, I appreciate y'all coming. And this conversation's been so nice, y'all caused me a hawk up myself.
Walk up yourself.
You know what I mean?
Sign of the day.
You know? They tell me I could be a member of the Hawks, but I ain't got to be a member of the Hawks, if that makes sense to y'all. That makes sense?
Who told you that?
Y'all ain't just invite me to be a member of the Hawks, but I ain't got to be a member of the Hawks.
You gotta hawk up yourself completely.
I got a hawk and double rock up myself.
I know
So-
halfway kind of thing.
I know halfway down, so I can't be a hawk and rock up myself.
Yep. Yeah, you can rock 'em.
Yeah.
son.
You see,
That's fine.
what they call a members who ain't really a member? Honorary
Honorary.
member. I can be an honorary member of the Hawks.
sure.
Dog.
You
I won't walk up myself sometime.
You trying to cause problems.
I will hawk up myself sometime, father. Then I can rock up myself
You know,
sometime.
4 Dunkaroos behind you right now. You're talking about you available.
Huh? Say what happened?
I said, you know, 3 or 4 Dunkaroos behind you right now that can join their organization.
Man, I was honorary member of the Hawks, babe. What you said?
But since we're making persons honorary,
Hold up.
Let's-
See what? Give me gear, boy. You all around your pump faking. See that?
Hawk up yourself.
let's make a
Honorary member, boss. Hawk up yourself, my boy. Bigger than big.
Yes, sir.
Bigger than big. Huh? Of course, we go put my shirt on. This one, tell someone this thing come after, tell someone.
Hey, the colors banging, or you got the right colors?
Uh-huh.
You got the right colors, too.
Yes, sir.
Look how good that look. Look at
Hey,
that.
colors,
Clean.
that's your one? Got him this morning.
Off in the air! Off in the air, my boy! I so appreciate this.
Boss, that's your real right there, boss.
Huh? On the way, remember, boss, hawk up yourself. Rock up yourself and hawk up yourself. Same time. See that? I like when they come bearing gifts, boy.
Yes, gifts, and we haven't forgotten you.
All right, thank you very much. You know, I represent all the groups. But this one is very special.
Hawk up
I
yourself.
have one Warhawk shirt. I think it was a pink one I got for Breast Cancer Month.
Wait, now,
I will wear this with pride. And I
platinum now.
swear everybody on, boy. Trust me, so they can see this.
Platinum, father.
Boy,
Better than Mason too now.
how you mean? I swear. Hey, notice the quality of the fabric.
Dry fit, father.
Dry fit.
Saying them little regular cotton wise, a dry fit, father.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate this. I will wear this with pride. And I will wear it often. Bahamian colors. I love
She
it.
blended with all my jacket and
Jack,
everything.
you clean. You
you
clean this
boy.
morning.
Happy guy, happy guy.
They coming for second, father. They coming for second. I get this place in the bag. They coming for second. Off of there. Boy, see that? Man. Oh, Lord. Hey, y'all better stop. Y'all better let them OJ up. Boy, they write me up and sign me up in here today. That's sick.
Producer? Mr. Producer? I shade for you too, boss? All right.
That's boss. They got the producer line up, boss. All team in here, man. Wait. We getting hawk up today, father. All over here today. Off a chair today, boss. Tell them they coming for seconds, boy. Huh? That's the producer, Mr. Silence, boss. He getting shaky behind the wheels and steels and things. We can get him up. We can make sure he blast him. You all can get your picture of him when we finish. You know, he running behind the controls right now. But he platinum. Wait, see this? I can get in trouble today, you know.
And this is what we've been talking about with marketing yourself and creating products to help yourself be self-sustained.
Right here.
We now have the orange economy. You can send your shit anywhere in the world, father.
Boom, ship this
right.
man.
All
I
right,
think
then.
you know this down in Japan, Russia, Kuwait. You know what I mean?
Ukraine.
You can imagine watching the judgment, what the thing called, BBC World. See the dude right across the screen in the walk, shade dog. That'll take you out, boy. That'll take you out. That'll freak you out.
Definitely freak me
That'll
out.
freak you right out. You know what I mean? But opportunities are there now
Yeah.
and ready, available for Junkanoo groups to use. You know, the tools they're coming in place. We got to use them, mate. You got to run with the orange economy. Get your paraphernalia to the world, not just here to the world. So the world know what Junkanoo is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you start to brand yourself and the world know what you is, just like how all them big branding companies, Nike, Adidas, and all them things, but you could be a brand in the world. You know what I mean?
Speaking of
They
brand-
start off right now where you are. Some of these people start off in their back trunks and their little shacks
Garage,
and their
parking garage,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And look where they is.
Yeah.
$1 billion industry is right now, by companies.
And it goes right back to the same thing again. We work so hard to create these brands and then you're not getting anything from it. So I mean, what's the purpose of hawking up yourself and I am a war hawk and
We ain't doing nothing with it.
no.
So we gotta push it.
Okay.
And I like how they get their website, but we can get to that.
Yeah, we can get to that
We
in the
can
next,
get to that, 'cause
next
we-
part of the show.
Yeah,
Because
boy.
you think we didn't try to get on that
boy.
website, try to purchase something.
boy.
We did. We tried to get something.
That's one thing we do. We try. We put practical in place. We go to practice. But before I get carried away, I tell you we only supposed to be here for a couple of minutes. Before I get there. I so glad y'all came today, huh? Man, y'all light up these pies, light up my day today, boss. I pie today, king man. I pie today. Not the kind of pie Papa's trying to get out, but I pie today. You know what I mean? But I just want to thank y'all for coming in today and representing the brand. You know what I mean? It's a unique brand. Y'all gotta keep it that way. Keep that unique brand. Keep the branding alive. You know what I mean?
Keep that energy.
Keep that energy alive, you know what I mean? But listen to me. Many people in the Junkanoo world right now playing like they ain't like y'all ain't moving. Trust me, movement's going on. And a lot of people scared. They ain't wanna say they scared. I can be real with you, they scared. Then all the pieces and the pieces moving, like you say, every year y'all try to wake on the weaknesses. Boss, listen to me. Y'all covering plenty ground this year. You know what I mean? And when y'all cover all this ground, some groups there, boss, they looking. Because they know somebody coming for 5 and 6 and 4. Because y'all can be in the top 3 this year. Remember I tell you all that. Remember I tell you all that. You know what I mean? Them 4 and 5 and thing, they gone, boss. They gone. They gone. You know what I mean? But anyway, on behalf of myself, aka Talk Class, my producer, Mr.
Papa
Mr.
Rossi.
Silence, my co-host today,
Papa Rossi.
the Genesis Warhawks,
Shiki.
Tanya.
we just brought you another exciting edition of the thing called Double Rock, where we had a rock here in Central, boss. We are the best in Junkanoo knows. And today, we ain't just rocking today, we hawking up ourselves today. Hawk up yourself, boss. We out.
Nedlet Productions.